Oh, guys, I started fishing about, oh my gosh, look at this walleye right off the bat. Are you kidding me? I started fishing 25 feet ago. That's my second drop ever with a brand new bait that Berkeley just came out with. And there is Walter, and I got 2 bites on that one drop. Guys, good morning and welcome to Fishful Maker Television. That is how we should do it every time. Guys, we're at North Sterling State Park here in Colorado, and we're gonna eat a few of these, so I'm not in any hurry on getting this fish off of here, and this is a perfect eating size one, but we're in North Sterling State Park. The lake's booming right now. We're in, what are we, in May, and I've got a brand new Berkeley Max Scent bait out, and that is literally my first cast with it, and it is choked by this walleye, guys, so stay tuned. This ought to be fun right here.
Fishful Thinker is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse. Gear up for unforgettable. Berkeley, your fish, our science. Abu Garcia, fish to win. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate.
All right, guys, so North Sterling State Park, almost to Nebraska. We're way northeast Colorado. And the lake's experiencing a boom cycle right now. Water flowing in, water flowing out. About 10 years ago, a lot of the bait fish here, we had some low water issues. We lost a lot of bait fish. Parks and Wildlife came through, did some stocking on shad, did a bunch of walleye stocking, a bunch of white, a bunch of crappie also in here, white crappie and black crappie both. And so because there's the lake kind of have experienced a new lake syndrome with the high waters, you can see the water's real high now. And definitely the lake is coming around. So we decided to come out here, talk to the guys at Colorado Parks and Wildlife and show up this fishery. We're gonna focus on walleyes starting off this morning, but there's also smallmouth bass in here. There's black and white crappie in here. There's wipers in here in good numbers. There's carp in here for guys that like to target carp, green sunfish. So it's a really unique fishery here on the northeast plains of Colorado. You look at that sonar right there, guys. There's fish all through the water column here. And because it's such a multi-species lake, it could be any one of who knows what for fish, you know? And so I'm staying a little bit tight to the bottom in the beginning thinking they're gonna be walleyes, but hard to say. That first one we caught was just right here and it was up real shallow. So we'll see how that works out in the long run. He caught one right off the bat too. See the guy in the bank right here, guys. He literally walked up here. That was his first cast. So he walked up and we started talking to him and he caught a crappie right off the bat. There's decent shore access around the lake in a few different spots. There's day use areas, there's a swim beach here. There's several different pavilions. I talked to the park manager here at North Sterling State Park and he's talking about a brand new pavilion they've got going on over here so that you can get out of the sun out here in the summertime, and a couple of covered picnic areas as well. And so being that we're way out here on the plains, and this guy in the bank just caught another one, that's 2 and 2 casts for him. So he's targeting crappies around those docks over there. And of course, we're gonna stay out of his way. We don't get up on guys on the bank. But very, very, very fertile fishery right this minute in terms of that, you know, and western reservoirs are always cyclical. It depends on water levels. We're always dependent on that. Colorado Parks and Wildlife can't control the water levels around here. So it's a matter of being kind of reactive to what happens. And I can tell you that that the state of this particular fishery is really good right this minute. You can see the boat ramp, guys. You look over, we just launched right there. We came right over here to rig up some tackle, and my first cast, I caught one. So that's a good sign. You can see tires on the bottom, some kind of cover there that guys have apparently planted in here. I suspect there's gonna be fish sitting around those. We've seen several of those in between here and the bank already. Got him. All right, that one was all the way down there on the bottom. And as you can see, I was just snap jigging it. And we'll see what we got this time. I don't believe we got a carp this time. That's a crop. Know what I get? What did I get? I got a little baby walleye this time. So yeah, this is gonna be a good trip, I have a feeling, guys. That's a little tiny one compared to the last one. But snap jigging him, and perfect little walleye. Next year, he'll be good eating size right there. Put him back over there, but there it is, guys. I'm sure this is gonna come as a giant shocker, but I've got the gold minnow out right there. I've got a real hot color. The reason the hot color is we've got some stained waters. You can see we're kind of mixed sun, no sun. And mark those fish on the graph. I mean, that is day one textbook walleye fishing. Mark them on the graph. Get a bait out there, snap jig its way through there, and get after them. And so that snap jig is really what gets their attention. You know, a lot of guys think of real subtle and, you know, put a bait on the bottom and barely jig it. But in my experience, a lot of time, by popping that bait hard off the bottom, they'll grab it right when it drops back down, just like that one just did. So textbook stuff. North Sterling so far, North Sterling Reservoir here, State Park, is definitely showing its colors right now.
Fishful Thinker is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse. Gear up for unforgettable. Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate.
Look at that. Look at when your graph looks like that, that's a good sign. There's fish all over the graph here. And I suspect the ones that you're seeing up high in the water column up in here, I think those could be either carp or wipers or both. They could potentially be big gizzard shad as well, full grown, you know, gizzard shad like 12 to 18 inches long. Not really sure, but there's a lot of fish on the graph right here. And that's a good sign. And you can see the point we're fishing. Look at that wad. Find, navigate, dominate. That's right. You know, and the crazy thing is, we don't believe you should ever leave fish to find fish. So we put the boat in right there. We're idling over here to hit this no wake zone to go run, and the graph lit up right here. Well, if you're gonna see a whole bunch of fish suspended on the end of a rock point, you don't know anything about the lake, that seems like as good a place as any. So I don't see a lot of point in going for a huge long boat ride and going looking around. We've got a few thousand acres of water right here. I don't see any point in going looking for them when there's a whole bunch of them right here. You're not gonna need a graph to look any better than this one's looked, right? You know, and then to catch a walleye or two and carp and crappies right off the bat, I mean, how can you argue? All right, got him on the flicker shad. And we're just mixing up, guys. We're looking for multi-species, and so we just fished across that point right there and didn't catch anything. And I just made a comment that I couldn't believe we hadn't contacted any bass. And not only did we catch a bass, but we caught a species that aren't supposed to be hardly any of in here. We caught a little baby largemouth bass, and did not see that coming. We were hoping we might catch some smallmouth, but look at that little guy, little tiny largemouth. Who knew? And he ate my big flicker shad, and you can see the real bright color on the flicker shad because we got a lot of stain in the water right there. Just ran it by a point. We just fished our way around and got bit on that one. So now we're up to 3 species, and we launched the boat ramp right there. So North Sterling Reservoir is representing right now, guys. All right, down on there once again. The graph gave them away, guys. What'd I catch this time? Now I got a trout. I told you guys we were gonna work on a mixed bag today, and I really didn't see this one coming out here on the plains of Colorado, but there's your classic Bobo, and we'll get our hands wet since we're gonna release him. Easy, buddy, easy, buddy, easy. And that, guys, is why we throw easy, easy, easy fish. That's why we throw gulp minnows so much, because everybody will eat them. And there's my 3-inch gulp minnow and my little Bobo right there. See, buddy? Take off there. And of course, Colorado Parks and Wildlife stocks those things by the jillion all over the state. But a little 3-inch minnow, everybody will eat it. And so that's why I throw it so much, is because I don't necessarily know a lot about this fishery per se, but one thing I know is everybody will eat a gulp minnow or a 3-inch minnow of some sort, a power minnow, a gulp minnow, a little flat-nosed minnow. So I throw it a lot because it gets me in the hunt. So we just marked some fish on the edge of that boat ramp right there. I dropped the minnow on them, caught a trout. Truthfully, did not see that coming. Okay, guys, so we're really in our second area. We've now made it at least 150 yards from the boat ramp. We're gonna fish this corner of the dam right here and see what happens right here. And because we're looking for multi-species, you know, we're gonna fish a lot of different stuff, riprap and flooded bushes and, you know, points and channels and all mix of stuff. And you can see, I'll get a parallel range. It seems like most of our fish have been in about the 8 to 12 range. So if you look on the graph, I've got the boat sitting 8 to 12. And as it swings around here, and I'm just keeps my bait in a depth range, and you can see there's various fish as we work along here. And I just keep working that depth range out, keep snap jigging the minnow, and ever so often we get bit with it. The beauty of something like this jig too is if I snag and lose them, it's not the end of the world. It's not an expensive bait. It's not like losing crankbaits or something like that. They're inexpensive, and I can focus on whatever depth range I want. If I want it to go deeper, I let it sink longer. If I don't want to go so deep, I don't sink it so much. But because I have total control over that, it's a very, very flexible bait for me to do a lot of things with. Way down at the bottom of the dam, right on the bottom, there we go. There's another species, guys. We are trying to rack up as many as we can today. And I think we're doing a fine job. North Sterling State Park is definitely representing. Now that's just a wee little smallie. I heard these are a new species in here, and they're just getting rolling. But again, the same 3-inch gold minnow getting it done again. fish that are in places like this that get a lot of consistent wind will definitely bite better when the wind blows. I see the dam just got a lot steeper. There's another one right there, right when the wind got steep. There looks like another smallmouth. Huh, not supposed to be a lot of these in here, guys, but apparently no one told this guy. Come on up in here, buddy. That's getting to be a little bit better. I don't know if I've ever convinced you guys you need to try a gulp minnow, but if I haven't, I should work on that. And there's another beautiful smallie. Look at that guy. Pretty fish right there.